Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today we are going to do my fantasy update or my fantasy self update that I'm doing in collaboration with Haley. Haley and I decided to torture ourselves with eyeshadow palettes that we've created ourselves and curated the color stories and all that jazz for our fantasy selves. And what that means is we have some very challenging eyeshadows inside of our magnetic palettes that we save for like those special occasions, like, ooh, that would look really cool with like this certain look, or like I could totally see myself wearing that never happens. That is what this fantasy self challenge is. So I have 15 shades in here. The goal for the majority of them is to hit pan, and then we can roll them out and roll new things in. I did have a goal in one of these shadows to finish it up, and I made some really great progress this month. I made great progress last month. If you are unfamiliar with the project, I'm going to have the rules in the description box. I do suggest go and check out Haley and I's first videos on this. Our intros are a little bit more in depth. Basically, we have a list of 5 rules where you have to have 15 shades. 5 of them are mattes. 1 of them is like a bonus challenge, so either like another matte or like finishing off a shade. And then once you hit pan in 2 eyeshadows, the challenger selects a shade from a list of eyeshadows that, again, is in the description box. They select a shade to put into your fantasy self palette, and then you select a shade to put in that you want to work on. So the goal for this project is eventually this palette will look like a palette that I truly love and love all the colors of, not what I have now deemed my grunge Christmas palette, because everything in here is like very grungy and very winter in my opinion. But I'm just going to show you what the palette looked like last time. I guess maybe the intro. I'll show you the intro, the first update, what we've changed things around to, and now we are looking like this. So there are some very obvious changes in this palette. Very, very excited about it. So let me just do one of these. I'm so excited for the progress that I've made in here. So I actually am rolling out seven eyeshadows from my fantasy self project. And you know, Haley did not make it easy for me on what she chose for me to roll in for 3 of the shades. Thanks, Haley. Really appreciate it. But it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. So I'm just going to go shade by shade and tell you the usage that we've done on each of these. So if you see me looking down, it is because I have my Project Pan notebook that has all of my numbers in it, and we'll just go from there. So I'm going to start. So starting with my first shade is from my Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette. That is the shade Mullet, and we hit pan in that. I don't know if you can see, but we ended up using that 6 times this month, a total of 11 times, and I hit pan in that guy. The next shade is Empty. I don't know if you can see that. That is the empty shade that I was trying to finish this year. I've actually finished 2 eyeshadows in this project. Really, really exciting on my part. That was the shade Canvas from the Morphe and James Charles palette. I kind of just want to like start working that palette out of my collection as well. So we finished that guy off, and I'm very excited. That took 41 uses, and I used it to like blend out my like eyeshadow if it got a little bit too much. Then we have a Natasha Denona shadow from the Blue Purple palette. This is Calypso Blue. I used that one 13 times. I'm surprised that I hit pan on it because 1, the shadow is deep. 2, it was a pretty new palette in my collection. And 3, it is a shade that I do not like. I have a hard time with those blue-brown kind of pigments, but here we are. We hit pan in it, and I'm very excited about that. The next shadow here is called Punk Rock. It is again from the Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette. I used that one time this month to hit pan, a total of 6 times in its entirety in this project. It did require a bit of building up, just the color. The formula on that Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette is going down, so I need to really start focusing on hitting pan and like finishing them up. Then we have a shadow that I wanted to work on, which was Good God by JD Glow. I'm very, very happy with that one. I can see a dip forming. I don't know if you'll really, maybe you can tell. Like there is a little bit of a dip forming in there. I'm enjoying using it, so I didn't really feel the need to like plow through it. Plus I wasn't really wearing cool toned looks a whole lot. so far. I've been struggling wearing makeup for the most part, but especially like cooler toned looks like that. Then we move over to the second row over here. This is Lick It, Slam It, Suck It by Luxie Beauty. This shadow is a little weird. It's like it's almost like, man, I just like dug a big hunk of that out. It's almost super shock shadowy, where you just need a decent amount to make it actually like look good. So that is how I ended up hitting pan on that one so quickly. There was a pretty sizable dip anyway, but I used it 6 times to hit pan. Then we have Cape Cod. I didn't use that one at all. Then Dryad here by Dandelions Company. I struggle thinking of ways to use this eyeshadow, and we ended up hitting pan in it this month. I used it 5 times this month for a total of 10 times, and I'm pretty excited about that. Smokin' I used once, total of 2 times. Boutique did not use, total of 1 time. Matcha, I actually have a dip in that one, I think. You can see. Maybe. Reach for it 5 times. Not terrible. Then Force Field was another one we ended up hitting pan in. Right there. I used that one 9 times this month for a total of 22 times. Game Over, I didn't use it all, but we've used it 19 times in total. And then Get Crackin' is actually in my like rotating palette series. I rolled the Goin' Coconuts palette, and that is in that palette. So I ended up using that 3 times this month, or this past quarter, a total of 8 times. I'm just coming in a couple weeks after filming the update for my Fantasy Self palette, this guy. I actually just filmed the update or the revised palettes for my rotating palette series. This was in for August. I was taking my shadow that is in my Fantasy Self palette out, which is called Get Crackin'. And I don't know if you can see this, but the whole thing just dumped out. I tried picking it up on my magnetic tool. You can see the remnants of Get Crackin' on here, hopefully. So we no longer have it in our lives. Technically, I have the same shade as a duplicate, but instead of rolling that into this project, I am going to roll this guy here. This is a Bare Minerals loose shadow that I mixed with, I don't have the drops in front of me, but I bought some mixing drops, like a mixing medium binder. This is, I believe this was, I'll have it on the screen. This might be Tiger's Eye. I'm not 100% sure what the shade name of this is, but I have the canister so I can look and tell you and have it on the screen. But this is going to be in my Fantasy Self palette now instead of Get Crackin'. It is pretty darn thin in there. I repressed a very small amount. So I think what I want to hit pan in it. That's going to be the goal right now. It's a pretty comparable shade. Let me just get what was left of Get Crackin'. Get Crackin' was definitely lighter than the new shade that we're going to roll in its place. But Get Crackin' had some sparkle in it, and this has a little bit of a sheen. I hope you can see. So I'll probably use them in the same functional way, which is like right in the outer corner and dusting it into the crease. But I just wanted to hop on and say this is going to be replacing Get Crackin'. Yeah, there's that. Cosmos, I did not use it all. Only have 3 uses on it total. But that means we get to put 7 new eyeshadows in this palette, and I'm very excited about the ones that I did pick. So I'm going to really quick just take the ones that are going out of here and putting the ones that are staying or that are coming in. I'm going to put them in here, and then I'm going to show you, and then we're going to have a swatch clip, and it's going to be a beautiful thing, an absolutely beautiful thing. Did I really just dent another eyeshadow? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? So this is actually what the palette is going to be looking like for the next quarter, and I'm so happy about it. Now, I hope you guys can see what I mean when I say grunge Christmas. These bottom 2 rows definitely scream like holiday. You can go to a work Christmas party. You could keep it like if you're doing like just a smoky nighttime look for the holiday season. This looks like the holidays to me. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm kind of just sick of looking at the bottom being so dark. That's hence why the shadows that we're putting in, that I'm picking, are predominantly light tones and neutrals, because this is colorful and just very grungy in my opinion. So this is my new color story. So I'm going to just go over this. I'll have the swatch clip go up and all of the names of the shadows are going to be on there. So out of all of these eyeshadows, I do think I'm going to be able to hit pan in this guy here. This is Luxie Beauty Bitch Fit. I just want to take it out and show you guys the sizable dip that I have in here. I don't even know if you'll really be able to see it, but there's definitely a nice dip down in the eyeshadow. This is another one that applies best with the finger. So I have a feeling I'm going to be able to use that one and hit pan relatively quickly on that one. I might also be able to hit pan on Good God up here. Those are really the only two that I can foresee. Maybe this guy up here called Twisted by the Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette, and then possibly Get Crackin' down here. I don't know if you can also see, I meant to mention this. Get Crackin', I don't know if it's just the formula of mine, but I do have like a normal ColourPop sized version of this, and it's fine. But this one that was in the Get Going Coconuts palette is so soft and crumbly. So I will take it in and out of this palette, and even just like if I have it in my Build Your Own palette and like I set it down too aggressively, like stuff flops off of this, like it'll just fall off. So this is a pretty powdery, loosely pressed eyeshadow in my opinion. I think I'd be able to hit pan in this guy as well. Nothing else. I don't think I'll be able to hit pan. I will be lucky if I hit 3 pans next time. And I will say I have been very, very successful in this project so far. Last update, I hit pan in 5 eyeshadows, and I've hit pan in 7 and finished 1. I hit pan in 6 and then finished 1 eyeshadow up. So I'm feeling very successful in this project, but I don't know how much I'm really going to be gravitating towards this. How I've been really getting, and I've been telling Haley the same thing of like how I get more use out of it, is incorporating shades into my BYOP for months, for the month. Just selecting a couple shades here and there from my Fantasy Self palette to encourage me to continue to reach for this, but not making the rest of my singles collection go underutilized in my collection. Plus we have the rotating palette series now, and I'm really happy doing that as well. So doing something like this where I can kind of incorporate shades that'll pair with those, pair with my Pan That palette, pair with the Fantasy Self palette, able to reach for them in here and keep my usage going is how I've been really finding success in this project. Otherwise, this palette would just kind of sit and I'd be way too intimidated to reach for it. But yeah, that is it for my Fantasy Self Project Pan update. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please go check out Haley's video. I will have it listed in the description box, and if it's up by the time like I'm putting the cards, I will have it in the card as well. But yeah, that is it. That is everything for this video, and I'm so excited to reach for and use some of these shadows. I've been making a concerted effort to put shades that are either brand new or I like them so much, and normally the hoard mentality of me is like, don't use it, don't let it go away. But I recently purchased a couple Cleona singles, and I wanted to make sure I got good use out of them. So one of them is in here. And then this is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadows. This is by Dandelions Company. This is Dahlia. So pretty. And then my JD Glow, that was new, and I put that in here as well. So, and then we have a green brown. Haley picked that one. Oh, maybe I should tell you what shades Haley picked. Haley picked these, I'm going to butcher this and I apologize in advance. Pinaja. That guy, that is from the Natasha Denona Green Brown palette. She also picked this matte gray called Ignite from the ColourPop Magic Hour, like BYOP, like the pre-made BYOP that was in there. And then from Kaleidos Futurism 2 Cyber Bronze, she picked Infrared. I have a feeling Haley picked this because I believe she's panning the ABH Jackie Aina palette, and she has a red, I believe it's called Wigglies, if I'm not mistaken. So we're like panning sisters again with the same-ish kind of shade. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this. There's definitely like room for like some very cohesive looks, like with these kinds of shades, these shades, and these shades, but I am so nervous about this. Anyway, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are staying healthy, sane, and safe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!